Space, the final frontier. These are the reviews of the Starship Cynic Prize, its continuing mission, to explore strange new games, to seek out both the good and the awful, to boldly go where, well, probably quite a lot of people have gone before. Or to put in more familiar phrasing, hello everyone, Poor Cynic here with Tablet Tyrant Reviews, and this is Star Trek Trexels by Yes Gnome. As you might have guessed, Star Trek Trexels is set in the Star Trek television show. It puts you in charge of a Federation starship charged with investigating the disappearance of the USS Valiant somewhere within the Trexelian expanse. Recruit familiar faces, expand your ship, and face off against sinister threats. So, there's obviously a lot going on this screen. I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as I can here. Along the top, first off, we have the various resources that you can collect. There's command, research, power, badges, and dilithium. Command, research, and power are all used to essentially do missions and upgrade your characters and whatnot. Badges are specific to the multiplayer skirmish, which I will get into in just a second. And dilithium is the supercurrency. And I will have a lot to say about this. We tap on dilithium and we can see the various purchasing costs, from $25 for $5 all the way up to $375 for $50. And you can also convert dilithium into the various resources if you don't want to get them the usual way, which is essentially Farmville-style mechanics. This is a waiter pay game, so I'm obviously not going to be super pleased about it. Next up, we have the level, we have your experience, we have exploration. These are the planets you can do missions on or the planets you can send probes to. Everything is going to cost a certain amount of resources. Like if I want to explore this yellow planet with a ring, you can see right down at the bottom, the cost right there. The flashing number indicates I don't have enough to actually do that. We can go back to ship view, and we can look at assignments. Basically just things the game will have you do in order to get XP. It's, like build certain rooms, or explore certain things, or like them on Facebook, Then along the side, we have first the target. This is a little mini game where you can collect small amounts of the various resources. For instance, I'll go there right now. You tap to shoot, you tap and hold to collect resources, and you have to watch out for pirates and comets. So, I'll show you right here very quickly, as soon as something comes on the screen. You shoot it, and then you suck it in. If it's bigger, you shoot it a lot, and it'll result in bigger things. We got some badges there. And yeah, that's pretty much how that goes. It's an interesting way to get... Come on. Sometimes the controls are a little wonky when it comes to collecting things. But yeah, it's interesting enough, but you're not going to get a lot from it. Below that, there's the camera. That's pretty self-explanatory. It's taking a picture of whatever's on screen so you can share it. Then there's the little play thing. This is, you watch ads to get, command or what have you. Oops. I accidentally moved the ship around. You just move the ship by tapping and holding. You also zoom in by, pinching or spreading and what have you. So you can get a nice, good look at what's going on. We'll go over some of these things in just a minute. Then along the bottom we have the menu. It's pretty basic: buy resources, social achievements, etc. It's what you expect from a menu. You have the skirmish, that's the multiplayer. Multiplayer is broken because it's pay to win, essentially. How it is you build a fleet with ships and combat cards, and then you send them out against other players. And you go to my ships. These are all the ships you have. You can assign crewmen to them to give them bonuses. But in order to get new ones, you have to pay for them with badges or with dilithium. That means people who want to invest more money will have the best advantage. It's blatant pay to win, and it's terrible. It makes the entire experience awful. I've had 3 battles. One of them I won, which is basically a tutorial. One of them sort of glitched out, and the other one, it was a total stomp because I was up against somebody with 3 rare ships. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Then we have events. That's basically just tied to skirmish. It's special things. I'm not really sure what power hour is. I assume it means you're going to get bonuses to whatever you collect during that time. I've never been on during the power hour, so I don't know. Then we have the store. That's pretty obvious. You can recruit officers, you can build your fleet, you can get special ships and other things. For instance, under special, we can see here it's sort of like packs. You can get uniforms, like you can make them look like Voyager, or you can make them look like Next Gen, or you can make them look like the Wrath of Khan if you don't want to know who anybody is. You can also get different models of ships, like Next Generation or Voyager. And it looks like that's all they have right there. I think there are other models of ship as well, but they're part of packs. Like here, the Maximum Warp Pack. It's got the USS Plank, the USS Nebula, and the USS Hood. So in case you really, really want to play on these particular ships, you can. Then we have officers. Takes you right away to active officers. These are your bridge crew, the ones basically on the show, they would be the regulars. You have, obviously, your captain, first officer, etc., etc. You might notice one of these names you do recognize, our helmsman, is a Mr. H. Sulu. Oh my. You can get more, and I will get into that in just a second, more of the original cast or various casts. But if you want to know more about them, you just tap on them. You can tap on our captain, Takara. It's Captain Vulcan female. She's got diplomacy, combat science, and engineering. She has a bonus that can be applied to skirmish, and she has some traits that affect how well she does in certain situations. For example, this particular captain is really good at combat missions and pretty much nothing else, although I did give her a diplomacy buff, so she's a little bit better at that now. If you want to reassign someone, like, say, let's reassign our security, you just tap reassign. We don't have any other officers, though, so it doesn't matter. You can also train them. I actually have someone in training right now. I'll show you how that works in just a second. Then in reserve, we have officers you can send on different missions or swap out when their stats get good. Like I have this medical officer, Jai Chi Ling. I also have different captains and a lot of captains just waiting in the wings for something to happen. First officer, a helmsman, and so on and so forth. We have sick officers. Occasionally, if you fail a mission, you will end up with the officers in the sick bay. Then we have recruits. This is where you go to get the actual famous people, actual famous notable crew members. And these all cost dilithium, and they can cost a lot of dilithium. You want Kirk, you want Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. That's going to cost you 59 dilithium. See if I can find one. Deanna, Worf, Ezri. They do take a lot of characters, and it's nice to see that a lot of the ones I like when I watch Trek, because I did for a long time, are there. They don't take from Enterprise, though, so sorry, Scott Bakula fans. You're going to be out of luck. Geordi, there we go. Jean-Luc Picard, 59 dilithium, and that's the same for pretty much any captain or notable first officer. I'm actually going to get pick up one of these right here because I don't think I'm going to keep playing this game after this, so it doesn't matter if I say my dilithium or not. And I know one of the missions I want to do requires medical officers, so I think I'm going to pick myself a medical officer. Couldn't get McCoy because he was locked. I think I'm going to go for, 7 and 9's an engineer. Doctor's good. I checked through this before. I think my best choices are either the Doctor or Catherine Pulaski. I'm going to go with the Doctor. So we're going to recruit him. There we go. You want to approach this officer, the Doctor, for 19 dilithium? Yes. Okay, sweet. The Doctor is now part of our crew. Now if I want to swap him out, I can go to medical, I can hit reassign, and I can assign him there. Sweet. Yeah, you might have noticed, obviously, that these are all sort of original series-style officers. Therefore, it wouldn't make any sense to have a Voyager-era officer on board. They hand-waved that away in the story. It's basically, they're weird time things that are making Federation officers from other time periods appear and want to work for us. It's an excuse, but, you want your favorite characters, you're going to accept it. Okay, now we have the actual rooms themselves. Oh, I got some achievements there, just because I recruited somebody. So, we have the different rooms. Some of these don't do anything, they're just for looks, like the conference room, or the bridge. Well, the bridge is used for like different missions and whatnot. But then you also have things like, come on, tap on it, the crew quarter. And this is where you go to. This is where you build these to create crew members. These are red shirts, and there you can have them do different things. They'll build rooms, they'll collect or they'll make resources that you can collect. They'll make resources specifically in these rooms. Like if I tap on this one, okay, didn't actually open the room. That was the deuterium tank, and you could saw it had a little red floating thing and XP in the corner. Basically, crewmen will go there and they'll create that resource, and after a while you can tap on it and collect it. So if I send someone there, they'll start making it again. You can also do that there. Get a nice bonus because I have some room synergy with the crew lounge. Also get that one. And there are other rooms here. You can see the med bay down here. There's engineering over here. And obviously there's a lot of space to expand, but you have to unlock it. And unlocking is expensive. In this case, I need more command and I need more research. I need a lot more research. So I'm actually going to send someone to go collect research. If I wanted to build a room, it's pretty simple. You tap on one of the empty rooms and then you tap on the room you want to build. I'm not going to do that because I want to save all my points to actually show some of the missions. Then we have training. You can see someone is already in the training room. This is my captain. Training success. The officer is ready for the holographic training program. Proceed with the test. Alright, so we are on a sort of theoretical mission, and just say it's the holodeck or something like that. And we're looking for something, or there's transmissions going on. I could be reading these, but I really don't care. I will say the story outside of these training missions, which tend to repeat, it does feel good. It feels very faithful to old school Trek. You know, it's sort of silly, sort of campy, but it works. Alright, so here, this is how the missions work. There will be little cubes that pop on screen. You have to collect them and spend them. And you can spend them either on advancing the progress bar or reducing damage. In this case, the danger bar, which is along the top. And I have 45 seconds to do it. So here we go. Investigate the area. Go. Here are little things. You tap on them to collect them. And then you spend them like so. And if you have enough, you reduce the danger with diagnostics. Good. Typically, these are not overly difficult. All we need to do is get one more. There we go. Alright. Transmission is from a device housed in the crust of this planet. It's enormously powerful. Off the charts. Could this have caused the asteroid to alter its course and collide with the planet? It's possible, Captain. Also, I guess this answers our question as to what the Klingons and Romulans are fighting over. An extremely dangerous weapon. We can't let it fall into the wrong hands. Can we destroy it? Yes, Captain, we should be able to. By the way, this is a weird crew that my captain has collected. It's the Doctor, it's Sulu, and it's the ship's counselor. Thought those were the best people to bring along on this particular mission. And that's one of the downsides, one of the problems with missions. You can't really select who you want to bring with you, apart from a couple of missions that I've experienced. Most of them, it's just, oh, these are your random people. I hope you do well. Yeah, I got an increase to my science. So now if I go to my officers, I go to Takara, she has higher science skills. Alright, so I think... Oh, and just to finish off, LCARS, that just turns off the little HUD, in case you want to see the screen sort of unobstructed. So I think I'm going to close out with one of the major missions, and then we will call it. Yeah, here we go. Red alert. The Grey Death. Admiral, some of the new crew are suffering from an unusual disease known as the Grey Death. Unless we stop it now, it will spread throughout the entire ship. Alright, why is my first officer helping the Doctor? I have plenty of medical officers. This makes no sense. I think we're close to a breakthrough, but we don't have much time. Patient's skin is beginning to calcify. I was very excited about that. let's get to work. Alright, now this is going to be the same thing as the last mission. This is basically how this works. Some of the things I will say while this is going on. The sounds and the music, they're taken directly from the original series. It sounds really good, so I appreciate that. It's very faithful in that regard. Art style's charming enough. Okay, so we have Mantis progress bar, repairs medical damage, your heart timer for 8 seconds. Okay, sounds good. Here we go. Begin procedure. Alright, making some progress, but danger is rising. We'll shrink it down a little bit. Okay, I could use more. Gonna add some more time. Gonna lower that. Gonna boost that. Making some good progress. Use more cubes. Gonna add more time. Oh, the stress is real. Danger is rising. Danger is rising. But I think we got it. Procedure success. With 15 seconds to spare. And now for the moment of truth. I'm sorry, I'm not Robert Picardo. I can't really do his voice. And epidural hydration levels are returning to normal. Technobabble at maximum. Good job. Administer the serum to the crew. We've saved the red shirts. We truly are the greatest heroes. Success, the pandemic has been stopped. We've isolated the genetic strand that allows the disease to function and rendered it inert. Hypos are being distributed to the crew. You will still need to visit sickbay and approve the additional medical resources needed. Oh, there's another part to this, huh? Alright. Oh, I guess it's just... yeah, a follow-up mission. So I'm not going to do that, because I've spent enough time on this already. There's a few last things I want to mention before I close up here. You can basically tell that I'm not a fan of this game, and that's just because it eventually just evolves into this boring, wait or pay system, where you just have to send people to rooms and wait for them to do things, and then collect the resources once they're done. There are also occasional visual glitches. I've had... oh, I got a level up there. I've reached level 10, yay! Like I was saying, there are occasional visual glitches. I've had crewmen shift from different rooms on accident, typically when I'm moving things around. I've also noticed occasional canonical errors, specifically just in terms of labeling. Like, Kira Neres is not labeled as Bajoran, she's a human. And just a couple things like that, just little things. But ultimately, there's no sense beating around the space bush. Star Trek Trexels is an awful mind-numbing cash grab of a game. Think of the most boring episode of Star Trek you can. This game has it beat, and that's a hard thing to do when you really think about it. The few good points this title has, sound design, visuals, bits of the story, cannot redeem how blatantly greedy and lazy it feels as a whole, especially considering things like the absolutely broken multiplayer, and just the dull mechanics. The best thing I can say about this game is that it got me to start watching Star Trek again. If nothing else, so I can forget that this game exists. I've been Poor Cynic, and I will see you all next time. Ta-ta, and farewell.